Hi. So, assuming that we have RStudio installed, I want to show you a few important things that you can do with the IDE itself. First off, when you open it, this is what you would see. Right here you have the console, which is a standard R console, and on the right hand side, top right, you have the environment. This is where you can see what the variables are and what the values are and so forth. The brush button here, it's more like a broom. If you click on the broom, it actually clears the environment. So suppose I've created a variable hello, and I set a value of 1000 to hello, it would appear here. That is nothing but an environment. Now, if you want to explore files, you can explore files in the bottom right pane, and when you create a plot, the plot would appear right there. If you want to look at the packages that are available in RStudio, you would go to packages. Now, if you want to update a package, you could select that and say update. And actually, I've got plenty of updating to do, and I'm not going to do that now. Perhaps I'll do it at home. So that's how you update. And if you want to install a new package, all you have to do is go to install and give the package name. For instance, let me start typing TSA. That is a package for time series analysis, and it shows up there. And you could also type T-series, which is also a time series package. You could select that, and if you want a wavelet package, you could select wave slim, that's one, and wavelets. And you could actually see that I can install multiple packages simultaneously just by inserting a space between one package name and another. When you click install, it is going to automatically install the packages for you. You've got to be careful here. You have to select install dependencies, for if you don't do it, then sometimes you might end up in errors. So that's the package pane, and if you want help about something, you'll find it here. The easiest way to find help in R is to put a question mark and specify a function. Let's say mean. And you can see on the bottom right pane, you have the help for mean. So if you want a different function, let's say a reamer, then when I press enter, you could see a reamer on the bottom right pane. Another interesting feature about RStudio is you could find things as you start typing, so which makes it a really nice integrated environment. So if you've used MATLAB, you'd see that this is quite similar to MATLAB. So as I start typing ARI, it gives me multiple options, and as you scroll down, you get different explanations, you get different functions. The last one is the viewer. The viewer is usually used for data. If the data is there, then you can view it in the viewer. But in this case, you don't have it, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, if you go to the history, it has all the commands that you have typed so far, or I have typed so far. And if you want to clear out the console, you just have to type Control L. Suppose I want to retrieve a command that I entered here, say seeking out help for a reamer. I want to bring it back to the console. I'll just say to console, and it comes over there. Hit enter, I get the help back. If you want a new script file, you need to have files. Files are quite important because it would contain a lot of functions that you could have for a particular application. So select our script, and that'll be my script. When I start with the hash, I'm commenting stuff. In other words, it's not going to run. I'll say my first script, and I am going to send the helpful arima to source. Now you could say source on save, then it's going to run the script when you save it. Or you could select this line and say run, or you could select a block and say run, or you could just hit source, which would run the entire script. Saving a script is quite similar to Word or Excel. You'll just go over here and say save as, and you can save it as an R file in your folder. There are plenty of other options here, which perhaps I might save it for another video. If you want to create a new project, you could always go to the new project options, and perhaps I'll save that for another video. Thank you for watching.